Hello, Joe.
Hey, would somebody kick you out of the house or something? What's up?
Yeah, how are you doing?
Doing good. Doing
Good,
good.
good,
I,
good,
l-
good.
I like your background. Really nice.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
I take care of my peeps.
Yeah, I
I
appreciate
take care of. Bob, what's your club name? What's your club name?
that. Rotary Club of Winter Haven.
Winter Haven. Okay.
Yeah, Winter Haven.
Alrighty. Good deal. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna make you a co-host right now.
I have sure had fun researching for this.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think it's a great. I think it's a great topic, and I copy my incoming public image chair did not register for this, and I copied him on my email this morning. I said, not to him, saying nothing directly, but I said it would be a good idea if you're on here. Just I
You would
just
not believe how many people in RLI, and I ask them. I do part one. The elevator speech is part of that session. You would not believe how many people don't know what an elevator speech is. And
right.
how is that possible?
It's hard to believe. I mean, if you're in business of any kind,
Yeah,
you should be prepared to tell people what you do in very short order.
yep.
I think that everything's changed. Business has changed. Rotary has changed. I think the way people go about their way has changed. The school that you and I went to many years ago
Oh yeah,
don't exist anymore.
not the same, not the same place.
No,
No.
no. And you know what class that they miss the most? The class of common sense.
Oh yeah, yeah. I agree. Well, just so you'll know, this is the third thing I've done today. Third Rotary program.
Yeah.
I did
I
an
don't.
art. I did the program at my club, which and the subject was the state of Rotary International in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did RLI one session at 4, and now this. So I'm living the dream today.
It's you guys like you and I and many others like us just don't know how to say no.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the
I
bottom
don't
line.
want to. This is something I truly love doing. So
Me too. Me too. I actually had a business call to a client this morning, and he happens to be the incoming president of one of our largest clubs, the Fort Lauderdale Downtown Club. And I expected to spend 20 minutes with him, getting my business done and whatever. By the time an hour and a half had passed, because we did the business, and then we talked about Rotary.
yeah,
And then I flooded him with ideas. These guys just don't know. They're not
yeah,
prepared.
yeah.
They're not prepared. He's going to be on the call today, Terry Robinson. Good guy, good guy. But I just, sometimes I say, do these guys even have a clue?
Hmm.
It's a tough gig.
So what was the total number you had signed up? 70 something.
I think it ended up at 74.
Yeah.
Like I said, if 40 or 50 show up, I'll be happy.
Now you're going to open the session,
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna open up the session. Welcome everybody.
okay,
I've got Jeff McDab coming in. I'm gonna tell everybody to put their questions in the chat box in capital letters. We'll get to those at the end of the presentation. If there's time, we'll ask for any additional questions verbally.
yeah,
We'll run it an hour or less, whatever. It's not going to go over an hour,
sure,
and so if it's less, it's less. But we try to run it out into an hour. Be good.
yeah. The only problem with having so many people is you can't really interact with them,
No,
very much. And I
no,
love that interaction. That's the whole.
no. It's definitely not. I know. You said you're doing some RLI courses, right? You said that.
Yeah.
How has that been on Zoom?
Uh, well, I guess I was against doing RLI online until we had to, because I didn't think it would work. And it turns out, as long as you don't go over 10 or 12 people in the class, you can work it. You can work the room just like you can in live.
Can you?
Uh,
Yeah.
and you know, their instructions are when they sign in to come in muted and don't unmute. And I go, no, don't do that. I want you unmute when you come in and stay unmuted because I want you to talk to me.
Right.
And you know, and it, you know, I always say, if one of you gets too talkative, I'll just mute you myself. But I want you to, I want you there because I'm going to call on you, and I want you to talk to each other and you know, all
Sure.
that. And it works. It really does work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's a challenge. I mean,
yeah.
all
Oh,
times
sure.
are the time. I don't know if you know, but I've been asked to for the next 2 years be the training coordinator for pets.
Oh no, I had not did not know that.
Yeah. So talk about responsibilities. Oh my God.
That's yeah. You know, I was supposed to do it 2 years. I only did it 1 year because standing in the hallway doing nothing while somebody else was in there doing the class drove me insane. I go, this is not where I belong. I belong in that classroom,
Right.
not out here pushing buttons and
Yeah.
telling people where to go. So,
I will tell you that I have a feeling that I will have to step in somewhere. I'm sure. You know, I mean, even though they have alternates, you know, and stuff like that, I
yeah,
have that feeling that I better be ready. And we're going to be doing it very differently this year. You know, my charge is to change the curriculum. But not only am I going to change the curriculum, I'm going to change the way we deliver the entire training experience.
yeah,
And there are going to be some virtual elements to it, for
good.
sure. We're going to try to do some stuff ahead of time and concentrate on the stuff in Orlando to be fun, to be interactive, and to be fun,
Yeah,
and having the discussion leaders basically stepping aside, just kind of you know waving the baton and you know, but not saying much of anything. We want interactivity between the participants more than anything else. Good afternoon, Regan. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Joe. And how are you?
I'm well, thank you, and nice to see you again.
Nice to see
You're coming in and out, Regan, or maybe that's me.
no, she's frozen at the moment.
Yeah,
you.
you can't be frozen in the Bahamas. I don't care what you tell me.
If
You
I'm not
just
sorry,
no, you're coming in and out, Regan. I don't know what's going
Yeah,
on with your.
I don't know. Let me put with my extra, see if I can get in better internet. Is we've been suffering with bad internet here. I don't know how you guys are in the United States. Our internet has got COVID-19 problem. It needs a vaccine. Hi, Robert. How are you? Can you hear me better now?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
Is that backdrop real?
I'm sorry, my dear.
Is the backdrop behind you? Is that really what's behind you?
Sometimes.
Hey Jeff, how are you?
Hey,
Jeff,
hello, everyone.
I'm gonna make you co-host, and I want you to you'll watch the door and let people in.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, you should have it. Bob, you should also have co-host.
Okay.
I don't plan on doing anything with it, but I appreciate it. If you all go to sleep, I'll do it.
Jeff, is your club meeting in person yet, or soon?
Uh, well, soon. We're discussing it.
Hi, Jeff. My name is Rangan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Good to see you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. It's great to see Bob Arnold there. I always like the classes I took with him in RLI.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right.
I'm here as often as I can get here. Joe only lets me on occasionally.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to get back to doing some live RLIs too.
Yeah.
I am as well. I really enjoy
We
doing
are
it.
we are having a live annual meeting this year.
You are July, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's safe enough to do that. I really do.
I think we've all had our shots.
I always enjoyed those meetings. You know, the 2 years that
Oh
I was
yeah.
up there,
Yeah.
those were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Learn a lot.
I enjoyed the curriculum meetings, you know, the international, but that was really something. Sounds like an airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing, Bob, you were not obviously you weren't here last month when we did with Barry, but last month when we did the first one, I was away from home. I was actually at a resort just north of actually by Port Charlotte, uh, on the beach, and so I put my computer out on the patio, overlooking the sunset on the Gulf
Oh,
Coast. That was a lot of fun.
yeah.
Reagan, is that noise coming from your background?
No, I have no children. I'm all me.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't mind having people socialize during this time.
No.
We'll mute everybody when the presentation comes. Anna, nice to see you. Edwina, nice to see you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. I tell you what I did, Joe. For my club, when we first started webinar, we were having blank faces. We were having people with their hairs up and down and wearing different kind of clothes, children running around, making scream noise. So I prepared the compliance with virtual meeting. And it helped because then we were able to concentrate on the meeting rather than what's happening at somebody else's house.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah. It's just helpful because otherwise it's very distractive and also nobody enjoys it, sometimes, especially when you have hearing problems.
Yep. Hey, Marcy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Hi, Marcy.
Hi, Rankin. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Mars. How are you?
Oh, I guess the lights all screwy here. Oh, wait a minute. I think I'm going to go in the witness. There, I'm in the witness protection program.
Too late. Too late. We already see you.
I know. You know who I am. Sorry, I just came back from walking, so I don't, not
Well,
all.
thank God we don't have smell vision.
Exactly. Exactly.
Is it as breezy up there as it is down here, Marcy?
Oh
Down
my
here?
God. It has been it's kind of like, I was saying to you, there are parts of the country, that have the Santa Ana winds and the Chinook up in Canada. It feels like there's something here. It's been going on and on and on and on for days.
Yeah.
Nice and cool though. Is it cool for you?
Oh yeah, it's really nice. No, almost like really low humidity. Hey, Alan, how are you? Good to see you.
Hey, Joseph, how you doing, sir?
Doing
How's
well,
everything?
thank you. Good.
Hi, Marcy. How are you? I know you. And
How are you?
Bob Arnold. This is
Yes.
Alan Snyder. How are you, sir?
Doing great. Doing great.
Bob, I'm really impressed. You've got on a jacket and a tie. Do you have
Yeah.
on pants?
Are you asking me to stand up?
Not if you don't have on pants.
You know what? If you don't have on pants, I would love to see you stand up.
Yeah. I can honestly say Marcy has never seen me without pants.
That's absolutely the truth.
Oh, goodness.
Uh, of course, it's the truth. This is Rotary.
Exactly. I'll go to a Rotary
Hey, Bob,
background.
I copied you on an email. I think you got it, about mental health. And the two people that I copied are also from the Broward NAMI organization,
Okay.
the president and the executive vice president, as well as Susan Racher and her director too. So
When did you send it?
it was this last night or this morning. I can go find out.
Okay.
I think it was yesterday.
I
we talked-
haven't seen it yet. This is my third Zoom meeting today.
Oh, no, it was about that ESPN is now going to be focusing on people who have mental illness in sports, and it's going to tell their story to stop the stigma and get the story out.
Oh, well, I look forward to it.
Yeah. So if you don't have it, shoot me an email and I'll resend it because
Okay.
I think you were on there. And anyhow, so the people in NAMI Broward are on there as well as NAMI Miami-Dade.
Mhm.
So,
Marcy, I haven't seen you since you were one of my students in this class before.
When was that?
You remember that?
I don't.
It was when we were trying to convince you to become a online discussion leader.
Oh my golly, yes. Gosh, that was a while. That
Yeah, well, I
really
know
was a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
You remember the last question I asked you?
Bob, I don't always remember what I ate for dinner
So
yesterday.
you don't
so I'm
remember
not
anything
sure.
I said.
Exactly. What
at
was it?
Well, at the time, we had talked and you were not really looking forward to doing an online session.
Right?
And so what I told you my last question that you had to answer was you had to sell me on why I should take that course online.
Don't remember that.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
obviously. it was-
I'm glad you did it.
Yeah, I've actually had a good time doing RLI online. I've been pleasantly surprised. I've been pleasantly surprised at the engagement.
Yeah, same here. Same
Yeah.
here. And I was against it like you were before. I just did not think it would work, and I was wrong.
Well, I think isn't our division leading the world in terms of like we are the online
Yep.
option?
Yep.
Yeah, that's something.
Yep. I think we're up to 22 graduates who did the entire thing online
Wow. That's
And that's-
impressive.
in less than a year. That it is taking one course at a time. I think it's awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
what
gonna-
else did we have to do the rest of this past year? Right.
Yeah. I'm ready to go live. There's no, as much as
Right.
I like this, as much as I enjoy doing this.
Is there a plan for the first live RLI?
We're going live with the annual meeting. I think it's
In July?
Yeah, in July,
Right.
and we'll make the decision then. But the board will. I'm guessing.
Did everybody see Joe's new headshot where he looks like so suave?
yes, he looked debonair. very
Yes,
handsome.
he does. It's quite good.
Not that he doesn't anyhow.
I'm
but-
going to tell you, Joe, it's a good marketing tool for David.
Well, that's his job now. That's his profession. That's all he does now is headshots.
Really?
Yeah. Professional headshots. And he is bombarded. He is underwater. So many people are.
Oh, that's
Wow.
great.
Yeah,
Why?
he is
Why is
so busy.
everybody getting headshots?
Because they haven't had good headshots up until then, and they're seeing what he can do. He's got a huge portfolio now. It's
Yeah.
and in
Well-
a very short period of time. Matter of fact, one of his other victims just came on the call.
Who's that? Barbara
On
Goby?
yeah, he did it. He did Barbara a while back.
Who did me?
No, not
David?
that way.
In the
That-
best possible way,
I
Barbara.
enjoy it.
Barbara, you were a victim before I was in David's studio.
He is amazing. He is really talented. And I want to send him a gift for that. So I was going to ask you if there was a restaurant that they liked or something special.
Yeah, the restaurant they like. Yeah, there's restaurants they like for sure.
So
That means
those are
that means that I get another chance at babysitting that night, right, Barbara?
Exactly.
I have to tell you a funny story though.
No, you told me that story, but you could tell it to other people.
I'll tell it to everyone. So I brought a couple different shirts and I go in the bathroom to change my shirt. And is Ava follows me in the bathroom and I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna do this. So I'm like changing my shirt like discreetly and she says, wow, you're really big. You know,
Don't you love kids?
From the mouth of babes, as they say, right?
Yeah.
out of the mouths of babes.
So I'm judging that from that conversation, David is your son, Joe?
Yes.
Aha, okay. Where does he photograph from? Or just, does he-
He's right now working out of his home
Sounds
yeah,
good.
in Weston, here in Weston. His plan is eventually to have a studio.
Sounds good.
As soon as his wife kicks him out of the house.
In a good way or a bad way?
No, in a
Never
good
mind,
way.
never mind.
Yeah, she wants her living room back or her dining room back or whatever it
Oh,
is.
Yeah, he's kind
Got
of
it.
taking over everything.
John and Bonnie, thank you for joining us again. Nice to see you.
Hi, Joe. Thank you. Good to be here.
Barbara, you started your DGN training?
We had one meeting and we meet every other week now.
Yeah, yeah. You have a good trainer with Patrick.
Yes, we have Patrick, Jeanette, and oh, I can't think of the third person.
I don't know. I should know too, but I don't.
But yes, I have a good group.
It's a guy, isn't it?
It is. He's from Bahamas, not Grand Bahama.
Oh, it's Charles Seeley.
Charles Seeley. Thank you.
Right.
So here's one of the pictures. I'll turn my video off and then you can see this is, oh, I can't show it. Never mind.
Well, if he did that, I'd say get your money back.
Well, okay.
No, I mean, if he did this black thing with your name on it, right?
No. For some reason I can't show it. I turn my camera off. That's all of you.
So Bob, I just resent that article. I had sent it about 9:30 last night, but I just sent it again, so it's top of desk.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I probably won't see it until in the morning.
No, but it's not urgent. It's just interesting because it's like, you know, I think you'll be very interested in it.
I'm now 14 hours up today, 14 hours. So if you see me falling asleep during this, would you somehow yell at me or something? Unmute and yell at me. So
Is that
Oh.
reciprocal? So if you see us falling asleep, you'll call us out too?
yeah.
No, never mind. No.
Bob, I don't know if you noticed, but right now both Art McQueen and George Robertson Burnett are coming in.
Oh yeah, no. I
and
didn't.
yeah, and you know what? They weren't invited, but that's a good thing though. They no, I'm glad that they did. I'm glad that they. I've actually all the presenters for the whole university should see each other presenting. So I think that's a
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
I'm sorry, I missed the first one. I really am. Hi, George.
How are you? Good to see you all,
Yeah.
George, how are you?
even if I am gate crashing. Sorry about that, Joe.
No, that's quite all right.
Uh,
Helen, welcome to the show. Diana, Elizabeth, Michael. Okay, we got we're right at 7 o'clock. We'll give it another 2 minutes, and I'm sure that people are still going to be coming in.
Could be a flood.
When you tell them 7 o'clock, they pop in at 7 o'clock. Some of us do come in a little earlier.
It's not like you got to drive anywhere.
That's true. That is true.
I actually just came back from golf and my wife called me as I was leaving that the highway up here, I-75 was shut due to an accident. So I had to do a roundabout way that I got here. So if anybody's on the highway on I-75, they're late.
Oh, that happened to me yesterday. There was a police chase. I was right in the middle of it on 995.
Huh.
There was a
Yeah.
police chase. They overturned car. Just the fun things that are going on in South Florida. Aren't you
Uh-huh.
glad you're not here?
Bob, don't take it personally. I'm turning off my camera. I want to eat dinner.
Yeah, and look,
You're nicer than me. I'm eating while I
Well,
actually walked in and logged on.
And
then
my-
got food.
my
You bring
husband,
enough for everyone?
Sure. Yes, you want a bite of, right now I'm starting with the apple pie,
Yeah.
which is
Here.
terrible.
Reach up and hand me a piece.
You're right next to me on my screen here, so.
This is beginning to look like Hollywood Squares.
We're going to need two stages pretty soon. Right now we're at up to 25, and they're coming in. They're still coming in. So I'm going to wait one more minute. I'm just giving it one more minute till 7:03, actually 7:04, and get as many people at the beginning as we can. And I'm sure there'll still be people coming in. We'll do a quick intro of our presenter. We'll do a few little housekeeping things, and then we'll get right to the meat of it. We've got, by the way, as a commercial for the some of the upcoming Rotary University sessions. Next month we have Cindy Dora from 6960 talking about Rotary Youth Exchange, how it's a life-changing experience, and hopefully what the future is of that. And right after that, Marcy Ullum, who's on this call, is going to be talking about Rotary education, why it's a membership retention tool. And then after that, we're going to have Marshall Butler telling the Rotary how to tell the Rotary story, the whys and the hows. So we have some really, really good subjects and some great presenters from all around. So very much looking forward to the several months coming up. And you'll be hearing from me in terms of registration and how you can get on and all of that. So we're very excited about it and very happy that you all have joined us tonight. You can never learn too much about Rotary.
Amen.
Okay, 7:04. I'm going to mute everyone, and I would ask you, if you go to your upper right-hand corner where it says View, put that on Speaker View so you get a nice full view of Robert when he starts speaking. Hold on a second. I'm going to mute everybody. Robert, Bob, you unmute yourself. Hold on. Mute. Wait. Okay. Bob, if you would unmute yourself. Good. Super. And
Yeah, I can't go muted through this.
That right hand. No, you're really gonna have to speak up.
Oh, okay.
And as I said just before, go to the upper right hand corner where it says View, and that way you get a much larger view of Bob is a very large Rotary personality. You need to see as much of him as possible. So do that, and that way it'll facilitate your viewing. Some of the some of the things that I'm going to ask you to do is if you have questions that you want Bob to answer, any particular questions as he goes through his presentation, to go to the chat box and put those questions in capital letters so that we know that they're questions. If you have comments, by all means, put comments. So that we'll handle those towards the end. Jeff McNabb is working with us today and helping us, not only bringing people into the room, but also he's going to be handling the questions at the end. And if we have additional time, we'll open up the questions verbally to everybody. So we get as much question and answer time as we possibly can. So looking forward to that. So without further ado, let me introduce our speaker today, our presenter, Robert Bob Arnold, Mr. Rotary. He is a longtime Rotarian. He's been with the Winter Haven Club for many, many years. And he's a dear friend. We've gone through the Rotary Wars together for a very, very long time. Bob is obviously a past president of his club. He has been involved with Rotary Leadership Institute as the Sunshine Division Chair for multiple years. And he's also obviously been a facilitator. Many of you have sat in on some of his classes here in 6990. He's always been very, very gracious about coming down to our district and doing RLI. And we hope that happens in the near future once again. He's also been very involved with the President-elect Training Seminar as a training coordinator and as a discussion leader, continues to this day. So Bob, as you may tell, he wears Rotary on his sleeve. He's got Rotary in his gut, and he has got a voice that, he's got a booming voice, and he usually comes into a situation with a real great greeting. I'm not sure if he's going to use that tonight. He may or may not, or he may just choose not to do it. But without further ado, I present to you Bob Arnold. Bob, please talk to us about a 30-minute, a 30-second, I'm sorry, a 30-second Rotary elevator speech and what that is all about. Right? Bob,
Okay.
the floor is yours.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. It was really kind of funny when Joe called. He wants me to talk for an hour to tell you how to do a 10-second speech. That's pretty interesting. I enjoyed doing the research for it very much. There's a lot of material put out by Rotary, a lot of material put out by like the Toastmasters and a lot of organizations, a lot of videos on YouTube on elevator speeches. I was even able to go online and download examples from several Rotary leaders, the past presidents of RI and that sort of thing. What I found was most people who do an elevator speech actually do a very boring, very uninteresting, uninspiring, almost boring elevator speech. And the whole idea is to sell it, to convey the message of what Rotary is. And Rotary's message is so fantastic that so much of what the average Rotarian uses for the elevator speech. And I know you've all heard it. 1.2 million Rotarians, like-minded professionals. We're the oldest club in the world, or the largest club in the world. But none of that is that's really that passionate a concept. Just because there's 1.2 million of us, that doesn't make someone want to join us. Just because we're the oldest club, that doesn't make somebody want to join us. In the RLI class my favorite class, I like to start it out by asking each of the participants to answer the question, why is your club better than my club? And the answers that I get from that question are the best elevator speeches I have ever heard in my life. And the reason being is it's what they are passionate about. Now, I have compiled a list of what I think are things, and you're certainly welcome to take notes. And matter of fact, I would appreciate that. But I'm going to give you 9 of the 10 reasons, the 10 things that you should do when you create your own elevator speech. And then we'll talk about the 10th one when we get there. All right. Number 1, you absolutely, positively unequivocally need to believe in what you say. If you're a passionate Rotarian, you need to be passionate when you do a 10-second or a 30-second elevator speech. Believe it. Now, do we have enough things to believe in Rotary? Do we have enough things to be proud of? Let me just throw out a few, just quickly. Ending polio, promoting peace, fighting disease, providing clean water, supporting education, saving mothers and children, growing local economies, protecting the environment, disaster response. How about that for some reasons to be happy about your organization? I am. All right, number 2. Welcome the opportunity to talk about Rotary. Don't be shocked by it. Don't be shy. Don't try to avoid it. Wear your Rotary pin. Stick it in people's faces if you have to get them to ask you about what it is, what it stands for. One of the best things you can say immediately if they ask about what it is, say, I am so glad you asked me that question, although it's not an easy answer. I'm more than happy to tell you. Number 3, be passionate. Be passionate about Rotary. Be passionate about your club. Most of the people that are going to be asking you about what is Rotary are not really asking you about what's going on in Europe in the Rotary or what's going on somewhere else overseas, South America somewhere. Most of the people that are going to ask you are asking about your local community. So what are you doing in your local community that you're passionate about, that you want to tell them what it is? Number 4, and you have to excuse me, this is the 3rd one of these I've done today, so I'm a little dry. Number 4, cater to your audience. I would not use the same elevator speech if I were in Evanston, Illinois, riding up to the president's office and somebody was in the elevator that I would use in my hometown. Look at who you're talking to, and cater what you say. Most of the places that they tell you online of what you should do is that you should memorize your elevator speech. I don't think you should. I think you should know enough and be prepared enough and have enough information that each time you can react and you can talk to your people and watch what they respond to and change your speech. One of the first things you need to do is you need to have some kind of a hook. Let's see, who is it? It's Michael Angelo Caruso. His elevator speech, he says, is it's the best decision I ever made in my life. He follows that with, you shouldn't use that if your wife is with you, understandably, but that's a hook, and you want a hook. An opportunity. How would you? One of the great ones I love it, and I think it came from Ann Matthews. Was how would you like an opportunity to make the world a better place? What a hook! I don't know anybody that wouldn't want to make the world a better place. And then to follow that with, we Rotarians do that every day, every single day. Somewhere in the world, we are making it better just by being involved in Rotary. All right, number 7, watch the facial expressions of the people that you're talking with. Watch what they respond to. When you say something, you can look in people's eyes and tell how they're reacting, which things it is. When you talk about what your club does, what your individual club does, let's say you build handicap ramps or you have feed, meals of hope type thing, and you say one of those and they light up a little bit, react to that, use that. You've just touched the trigger, and that's what you want. That's absolutely what you want. Number 8, you need to have a purpose for your elevator speech. And it may be that you want to recruit or attract this person to be a Rotarian. It may be that you want to attract them, engage them as a donor for a fundraiser, or you might want to invite them to an event, for help, something like that. So have a purpose in mind when you're answering the question. And number 9 is invite them to a club, invite them to come to your club or to an event or whatever it is. Okay. No, that's 9 of the 10 things that I think you should do each and every time. Now, what prompted me to come up with a list like that was I was online researching this, and I came across what could possibly be, and in my opinion is, the absolute worst elevator speech ever. This was a question raised to someone online, and this is the response that the person gave. Overall, the Rotary is a well-meaning group that raises money and does charitable work. Culturally, it seems old-fashioned and a little stuffy. It's mostly nice middle-aged to older people with a little money and social standing doing some good. Now, what do you think of that? In my opinion, that's the worst possible you could do. There's a lot of things that you could do differently. One of the things I did is I went online and I downloaded elevator speeches from quite a few people. Some of them past presidents of Rotary International, some of them past vice president, Rotary Foundation directors, and so forth. And in most cases, according to my list, their elevator speeches are not what I would consider great elevator speeches, because they don't address what you as an individual are passionate about. But in each and every case, I did find part of their elevator speech that I thought was quite eloquent, and I am now using them and kind of randomly, depending on who I'm talking to. But I'm going to quote some of the quotes from them, and these are the parts that I would use. These are the parts that I would take out of there, and in almost every case, the first part of it is we're the oldest Rotary, we're the oldest service project service club, and we're 1.2 million anyway. Ann Matthews, the heart and soul of the foundation is to help people who are less fortunate all over the world. I love that quote. And I will use that because that again, that's part of that hook I was talking about. Tug on those heartstrings when you can. John Germ, the purpose of Rotary is to improve lives. That says a lot in a few words. That alone could almost be an elevator speech freestanding. The purpose of Rotary is to improve lives. Antonio Halage, Rotary is a group of professionals with high ethical standards. Again, we all agree with that. The four-way test and the object of Rotary and all those things. I personally would not quote the four-way test or the object of Rotary during the elevator speech, but I would certainly like to tell most people about it. As a matter of fact, I've often said my elevator speech begins with "Let's take the stairs," because I can't tell you everything I want to tell you about Rotary in a 10-second or 30-second speech. William Boyd, Rotary Foundation trustees, his quote: "We exist to serve people." That's a way of, just the motto reworded a little bit. That's not bad, not bad at all, I think. In business and professional life, and this one I love. This one I love. Kind of goes along with what some others have said, but in business and professional life, Rotary is a big advantage. Now think about that. Rotary is a big advantage. I'm in construction industry. I deal, if I can, exclusively with Rotarians for a very good reason. It's the integrity, honesty. If they live by the four-way test, those are the people that I want to deal with. And being a Rotarian is a huge advantage in if you're dealing with somebody who is also a Rotarian. A past RI director. Our worldwide network is very good at reacting to the needs of less fortunate people. Very good at reacting to it, and that's true. That's the case. The Rotary is very good at reacting as we should. Another quote, to help those who are less privileged. I like that. The opportunity to contribute to society is one of those. Now, those are quotes that I took off the internet. And I would encourage you to go on like YouTube or most any of them. I Google elevator speech. Most of what you'll find are salespeople talking about how to promote yourself in that elevator speech. But the concepts are correct. The concepts are right, and are definitely worth looking at. The Toastmasters has a thing on the tips for creating a powerful elevator speech, and this, of course, wouldn't necessarily make it a Rotary elevator speech, but they're still not bad. Number one is define what makes you unique. Do you believe that Rotary clubs and that Rotary International is a unique organization? I do, and there are a lot of things that make us unique. That's what we want to talk about. Identify hot words that resonate in the market you're selling into. All right, interesting. Hot words in the market you're selling to. What do you think some of those hot words might be in the market that we're selling? How about smart? Knowledgeable, perceptive, and confident. Typical Rotarian. How about compassionate? Thoughtful, sincere, engaging. Persevering. Look at how long we've been working on the polio plus and eliminating polio. We went from 350,000 cases in 1984 to 2 cases in 2021. That's not shabby. That's something to be proud of, and that's something to talk about. Another hot word, inspiring. I'm inspired by a lot of Rotarians almost on a daily basis. All right, how about fellowship and global understanding? What worldwide organization has more fellowship and more global understanding and more recognition? The most recognized logo in the world is the Rotary logo. Another hot set, ethics and integrity. Absolutely, we honor our commitments. And then diversity. We connect diverse perspectives. Worldwide. I like that, Joe. Is that you're telling me I've got 5 minutes? Vocational expertise and service and leadership. Again, those are the hot words. And again, what I'm trying to say, don't necessarily memorize it. Plug those in where you can. I'm looking to see how much time I've got. Okay. I was originally told that this quote comes from Herbert Brown, past RI director, RI president. And I've seen this quote before, but I'd like to think it came from him, but I don't know. And it says that there's 4 L's: live, laugh, love, and legacy. I like this this would make a great elevator speech. Live as Rotarians live. We live by the 4-way test. Live with integrity. Live with honesty by example. Laugh. The laughter in Rotary comes from the club meetings, from the acquaintance, the object of Rotary, acquaintance in the clubs. Like-minded people, like-minded professionals who share. Love of humanity, love of children, love of our community, love of our world, love of mankind. That's the driving force between mostly Rotarians. And then last but not least, legacy. We have a legacy to live up to. Since 1905, Rotarians have been making the world a better place daily. Since 1905. That's something. Again, that's something that I'm passionate about. There's a lot of us. There's a lot of Rotarians. I've sort of hinted that I wouldn't necessarily say there's 1.2 million of us worldwide. I certainly wouldn't use it in the beginning of the speech, but there are a lot of us. We're in over 200 countries. We have over 3,600 clubs, from small towns, small clubs to big cities. That's something to be proud of. No other organization, remember I said it was unique, no other organization is quite like Rotary. And there's a good reason for that. And we don't want them to be necessarily. But I want to talk about it. For over 100 years old, we have grown from a membership of 4 to 1.2 million members worldwide. And we're not too bad at managing the money that we handle either, considering the fact that we took $26.50 and turned it into a $100 million a year foundation. I wish my broker could do that for me, or something similar to that. I got to thinking earlier today too, and I couldn't find. I did a lot of research with the Rotary Global History Fellowship to see if they had any quotes from Paul Harris in the form of an elevator speech, and I even researched to make sure there were elevators in 1905. So that he would have done that. And I thought, what would Paul Harris say if he climbed on the elevator? And it wouldn't even have been Evanston in those days. And somebody said, of course, if it was in 1905, he didn't even have the pen yet. But somebody says, "What is Rotary? What is Rotary?" Paul Harris, I could hear him say, "Well, we're a worldwide known service club. We've actually got 4 members. We're very diverse. We have a lawyer, a merchant, an engineer, and a tailor. We're working on some great service projects too. Why, right now in downtown Chicago, we're building an outhouse. See, we're already talking about the environment that we're trying to protect. And not only that, we bought a horse for a local doctor so he can make house calls. We're definitely a service organization. And that someday we hope to be the largest and the oldest service club in the world. And we're there, people. We are the largest, we're the oldest. We created the concept of service club. And I'm extremely happy about that. Now, if you have any questions at this point, I need to take a break and drink a little bit of water. Joe, have we got any questions in the queue?
Can you turn that off, sir? Okay, sorry about that. I don't see any initial questions at the moment, but I do have a couple of questions of my own.
I'd love to hear them.
All right. So, when you do your elevator speech, what should we, as a club member or for our club trying to promote our club, what should we lead with?
The lead should be the hook. Something that grabs them. It should be in the form of a question they can't answer with a yes or no. Have you got any ideas about how we could make the world a better place? Rotarians do, and they do it every day. By golly, it's the best decision I ever made in my life. I like to use it's the second best decision I ever made in my life. And they asked me what's the first, and I said I don't know. I haven't made it yet. But the second best so far has been Rotary. So a question, something, and especially like I said earlier, most of the people that are inquiring about some local service, some local thing that you're doing. So in general, in most cases, they're concerned about something. So what's the very last service project that your club did that you're the most passionate about? Somebody says, what's Rotary? Well, let me tell you, we built 123 handicap ramps for people who couldn't afford them in our community. Just this last week we did that. We fed kids that are on the free lunch or free breakfast program because they don't have, but they go home on the weekends and they don't have anything to eat. We put together 25,000 meals to give to those kids so they could take them home on the weekend. So lead with a hook. preferably a question, but something like that.
Hey, Jeff, maybe we can kind of tennis ball this back and forth between us. I've got a couple of questions too. You know,
Okay.
I was prepared just in case our audience was going to be a little bit gun shy. So Jeff and I came prepared. So here's one for you, Bob. What situations would prompt the need for us to deliver a Rotary elevator speech? What situations would prompt a delivery of a Rotary speech?
Okay. Yeah. Very rarely do you give an elevator speech in an elevator.
Right.
You know, it's usually somewhere else. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a grocery store or drugstore, or you know, or someplace, and the clerk behind the counter would say, "What's that pin you got on there?" That's the switch. That's when the elevator speech comes out, and it could be anywhere. In my business, I have people that come into my office every day to talk about designing a house for them, and invariably they'll see the four-way test on my wall, or they'll definitely see my pin. I'm asked on a daily basis about Rotary, you know, every situation that you can imagine. I've been asked in church. What is that? And why do you wear it? Why do you wear it every day? I even wear a different pin every day, so that people who have asked me about it before will come up and say, "Well, now that's not the pin you had on last week. What's up with that?" And I even get Rotarians in my club. "All right, Bob, what pin you got on today?" You know, "Oh, this one's from the Bahamas," or "This one is the Mickey Mouse ears, you know, from Orlando area." 6980 has a big orange, you know, is their pin. So I even go out of the way to try to create situations where people will ask me about Rotary. And there is no bad time. Maybe a funeral.
Okay,
Jeff?
great. I have a question here from Elise. Do most members wear their pin every day? I wear my pin a lot. I don't wear it every day myself, but how about you? What about you, Bob? What have you seen?
If you ever catch me without a Rotary pin on, I will donate $50 to the foundation in your name on the spot. Now, I have to exclude when I'm in the shower. I can't have you coming over and, you know, and just trying to get that $50 donation. I believe you wear one everywhere. And I am disappointed in my own club by the number of Rotarians that don't wear them. And I'm especially disappointed in Rotarians who are on Facebook every day, that with business or with some other organization they belong to, Chamber of Commerce, Meals on Wheels, whatever. Even club president who don't ever wear the pin. I wear the pin every day, and I'm impressed, and I appreciate Rotarians that do it. Okay.
Okay, and from Liz Cox, people ask me about plans when I'm traveling. What can be a good response in that situation?
Okay. Well, certainly traveling, and especially if you are traveling overseas. Now we talk about, instead of talking about the local stuff that we do, look at the things we do worldwide. Even Rotarians, even the average Rotarian that comes into the RLI classes, you would be amazed at how many Rotarians don't know what the plus stands for in polio plus. So if the Rotarians don't know about it, what do you think the lady sitting beside you on the airplane knows about it? But look at what that means. The fact that we took polio from 350,000 cases a year to 2 is one thing. That's remarkable. It's certainly worth knowing. But to talk about the other things, the other parts of polio plus and all the other diseases we're talking about 9 billion children inoculated against all those things, not just polio. And that's just part of it. Look at the Peace Scholars. The fact that we have universities scattered around the world giving programs on peace and conflict resolution alone. What I mean, what? Who does that? You know, Rotary does. We do. The people talk about the polio, the money that's been donated to polio. Everybody will tell you right up front. Well, Bill Gates is the biggest donor to polio and polio plus because he's given us $9 million, whatever it is. But Bill Gates is a wimp compared to what Rotary's for. We're talking 90 million. We're talking 10 times the amount of money that Bill Gates' organization is given. That's telling you something. Now, I certainly appreciate what he's done, and if I had the opportunity, I'd shake his hand. I also would remind him that we've given 10 times more than he did. I'd give him my elevator speech in a minute if I could. So actually traveling is even a better place to do it. That expands what you want to talk about. And there are so many things like that are phenomenal that Rotary does that nobody else on the planet does.
Jeff, I have another question for Bob. Bob, how early in our Rotary lives should we be expected to deliver an effective Rotary elevator speech?
There was a fellow in the RLI session I did just before this meeting who had been in Rotary 1 month. And when I asked him why his club was better than mine, he gave me an answer that was awesome. He young fellow, looked to be about 30 maybe, or maybe even a little bit younger. And he was so impressed with Rotary, with his club, and the fact that they took him in and he learned about the things that they were doing, that he was ready right then to walk out the street and just start standing on the street coming and talking about. So I would say a month in, that'll work. If you get asked on the way out the door the day of your induction, I'd say that's a good time to start.
And as a follow-up to that, Bob, how can clubs be more mindful of the importance of an elevator speech? How could clubs share with their members on the development of a Rotary elevator speech?
Well, how many people do we have here right now? You all belong to a club somewhere. You could go back and tell them what you learned in this session about it. I have a quote of my own that I use all the time, and I use my club as the example. The average club doesn't have enough Rotary in it. The average club doesn't teach Rotarians about elevator speeches, doesn't teach Rotarians about the Polio Plus, doesn't teach Rotarian the history of Rotary and the legacy of Rotary. The average, and there are some phenomenal clubs out there, unbelievably phenomenal clubs, lots of them. But I also know there's a lot of them that don't. A lot of clubs don't have any training program other than, like, for instance, PETS and district seminars. And a lot of clubs don't even promote sending their membership to things like the training seminar, the foundation seminar. Those are important things. It's up to the presidents and the boards of directors of those clubs to teach them, and it's easy to do.
Jeff, do you have anything else?
No more questions in the chat.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw another question out at you, Bob, because I want you to work as hard as I could possibly get you to work on this in this session. So would you recommend, as Rotarians, that we have some sort of type of a business card to hand out so that the person that asked you what is Rotary and that you're giving that elevator speech to can follow up with you? Do you recommend that? And who should be responsible for handing out these cards to the club's members? Should it be the individual's responsibility to make some cards? Should the club have that responsibility? Should the district have that responsibility about having a card and then having the Rotarian perhaps put their name and contact number on it? What is your thought about that?
I have printed my own, but it's only because.
But you're special. You're special.
Yeah, but my club didn't do it. but the one I like the most is the one that's on the back of the card. It says you're invited to have lunch, or you're invited to have breakfast, and write in the date. And if they show up with that card, I'll pay for their lunch. You know, that's another way at the end of that speech, hand that card to them and said, I'm glad. And if I've touched a spark, and you really do want to help change the world, and you really do want to make the world a better place, you call me. My number's on here. You call me, and we'll talk again. So yes, I think that card is an exceptional idea.
Great. So does anybody want to unmute themselves and have themselves heard? Come on, I challenge you.
Yeah,
Anybody
I would love to hear from you.
Any comments? I saw one comment on the chat box from Liz that says our pins need to be bigger, and she did it in capital letters.
Joe, I have a comment.
Okay, great.
I would credit Rotary even with increasing the GDP of the United States, because people don't appreciate how important it is having a bathroom in a public area and how much commerce that generated. So
Okay, for those of
I would
us
credit them with more than just eradicating polio.
Yeah.
So for those of us who are uninitiated, what is a GDP?
Gross national. I'm thinking of the. I think the wine has had its effect on me.
Product.
I'm thinking of the economic output, the engine of this
Okay.
country.
Gross national product. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely believe Rotary is responsible for it. Of course, I believe Rotary is responsible for just about every good thing that's happened in the world. And I think Rotary, because of things like the Peace Scholarship Program and those institutions that teach the peace and conflict resolution, I think that they are responsible for the fact that the world isn't a bigger mess than it is right now. And it's a mess. But we have people, and I love to say we, because I love to be a Rotarian. We, each and every one of you, are partially responsible for making that happen, making people, having people that we have trained, that we're training to go out in the world and work for organizations that are actively supporting and pursuing peace in the world. That in today's environment, and speaking of environment, our brand new area we're headed into is protecting the environment. You talk about a hook for the younger generation. My generation, never really got into the saving the forest and all that sort of thing. But the young generation is, and all of a sudden we now can say, we're now focusing on that. How can you help us? We're Rotarians. We're gonna do everything we can to save the environment. And you're a young person, educated. How about you help us? How about you join Rotary right now, or you join Rotaract, and you come up with the things that we need to do.
So in essence, what you're saying is that the Rotary elevator speech is potentially a good membership tool. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And it ought to be part. If you have a red badge, blue badge program, or whatever you call it, having them come up and give a presentation on an elevator speech would be an ideal thing to add to that. But it's not necessarily something that you're going to come by naturally. Not everybody can just off the cuff come up with with something that works like that. But everybody can be trained to do it, and all it takes is anybody. If you find what they're passionate about, if it's donating wheelchairs, for handicapped children, if that's their passion, and you can convince them what Rotary's done worldwide. I don't remember the statistic, but it was in the billions of wheelchairs that have been donated worldwide by Rotary, but not Rotary International, but by the clubs. Scholarship. Rotary in general, and Rotary clubs have donated more money than the next four non-governmental organizations that give scholarship have donated more money than the next four put together. That includes Rhodes Scholar and and several of those things on scholarships alone. So if it's a teacher, a professor that's talking to you that says what's Rotary, there's your hook.
Okay, now we're going to see if anybody learned anything. Would anybody be willing to unmute themselves and share with them their 30-second elevator speech that they just created within the last 45 minutes? Here's the test time. It's test time now. You just gotta. It's kind of an open book test. Would anybody like to volunteer?
Could I volunteer? Liz here, Liz Cox.
Go ahead, Liz. Go ahead. 30. You have 30 seconds or less.
30 seconds or less. All right, and this is a question coming from somebody in my community who saw the pin and said, what's that pin for?
Mm-hmm.
Well, have you seen the new bookmobile that is driving around the community? Well, that is what Rotary represents. How about that?
Okay, that's excellent. So
No.
using something that's in the community that is visible to the community and that people might recognize, that could be a great, as Bob said, that could be a great hook, right, Bob?
Yep. Oh yeah. The last time I really got to sit down and talk with somebody and they eventually did show up at our Rotary Club was at a dog park that our club had created. Big Rotary symbol on the on the gate. This is the Rotary Club of Winter Haven dog park. And that was their passion. I was there with my dog and they were there and it didn't take me long to say, listen, you need to, we donated this, we built this, we raised the money, we've got the building permits and our club actually came out and physically created it, got our hands dirty, got boots on the ground.
John Cruz was just writing, so he's either writing me a check for this session or he just wrote down his 30-second elevator speech. Come on, John, out with it.
Come on, John.
Hey, Joe. I just write down you and Bob's name because I didn't want to forget what a wonderful job you did tonight. But yesterday at our club meeting, Bonnie and I had a discussion with our presidential nominee, and he's a new Rotarian, very young man and very excited about Rotary. And I took an interest in his favorite charity and wrote him a check yesterday. And then we presented him with a packet. And he has gone through the district global grants training, the webinar, and he's going to lead that effort. And last night on Facebook, he said, big thank you to John and Bonnie Cruzy. They're the greatest Rotarians ever. They so want to help me be successful.
Mentor.
That's terrific. That's terrific. That's great. So that was
shirt, and he's got a shirt that's those things that you see on Facebook, those things that you could, and the guy opens his shirt and it has a Rotary T-shirt underneath it.
So John, I shouldn't be expecting that check in the mail, I guess.
Huh? We are so excited that we are so well connected with Florida in your district through the Rotary Club of Ukiah. We're so excited about that. They have given us so much, and we've been able to, help them along too. We did the Global Grant Project with the hospital beds, and we will be giving a presentation at our Celebration of Service Awards dinner Saturday night. And there'll be over 200 people from the community there, along with our district representatives. And we are so excited to be able to get up there and tell them that, hey, we are so excited because these are the things the district does for your community. And we're going to tell them those things. And then this year we reached out internationally, and we're just so excited to share the success of the hospital bed project. So we're taking that.
That's fantastic.
And we're very, very excited about that. And that's the first time. We've been doing this annual celebration for a number of years, but this is the first time we've actually involved the district leadership, in participating in this celebration service. What we're trying to do is show the community we do things locally and internationally, and we're so proud that we can do both. And that's
Super.
the message we're
Super.
trying to get
So,
out.
what district are you from, guys? You two?
We're Nebraska,
5660.
5660
Oh,
in Nebraska.
5650.
Nebraska.
Well,
Yeah.
welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you for participating. I appreciate it.
We love you
So,
guys.
so you have two takeaways from today's presentation. Number one, you need to wear your pin all the time, and you have to encourage all your club members to wear the pins all the time, and that will open up that possibility of that conversation, and that'll be an opportunity for you to use everything that Bob has taught you to use today. I think that's the word. And as a follow up to that, in 2 months, we're going to have a segment on Rotary University having to do why Rotary education is important to Rotarians. And that really is a follow up to what this call is all about, because having that education will allow you to speak further than those 30 seconds. And that type of opening, that type of possibility certainly exists. If they're going to ask you, what is that pin? You're going to use 30 seconds, and then they'll follow up with another question. You better know your stuff. You better know more stuff than you think you know. So Rotary education is going to be a big, big part of that. We're going to talk about that in a couple of months in one of our Rotary University sessions. So seeing no other questions, first I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Bob Arnold for being with us tonight. Everybody, big hand for Bob Arnold. Thank you, Bob. We really do appreciate you being with us and sharing your experience, your knowledge, and your passion for Rotary. And we know that that's going to be ongoing for many, many, many years to come. We really do appreciate that. And you know that you're still welcome in 6990 all the time. Whenever you're available for our RLI sessions, you're always a welcome presenter for our sessions. So thank you.
There.
Thank you, Bob. We appreciate it. And I want to thank all of you who've been on the call for taking the time out for just a little bit more Rotary knowledge. And this is what this Rotary University is all about. We have 13 more segments of this with a lot of different topics, some great presenters, as I said before. And we encourage you to continue to looking for the messages that I'm going to be sending out for registration. Tell other people about it, because there's going to be some great subjects for them to get involved with. But all the subjects are great. All the subjects are good education and good additional Rotary knowledge. And what happens when you have this Rotary knowledge? It makes a stronger Rotarian. It's a Rotarian who's going to be a Rotarian for a longer period of time. They're going to know. They're going to they're going to realize what an incredible organization we belong to, and why I should stay in it for the rest of our lives. So we're a little bit early, but that's okay. It's 7:52. We've got a few minutes left, but if there are no other further questions or comments, I want to thank you. Thank you, Jeff, for being the monitor and for allowing people into the room as they came in. And I look forward to seeing many of you again next month when we have a great discussion about Rotary Youth Exchange, how that's affected people's lives, and hopefully by next year will continue to affect them in the future. And hopefully we get Rotary Youth Exchange back once this pandemic is behind us. So again, thank you all for coming. And I want to thank you for being here and for your attention. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
How do we-
Bye-bye, Joe and everyone. Thank
Bye,
you.
Rangan. Take care.
Wonderful session. Thank you.
Take care. Bob, just stay on for a second and
I will.
have a little.
It's not like I have a life.
You do have a life. You have a Rotary life. Okay. So we're going to, let me see. Let me get stop video. How do I get rid of this person? Waiting room, remove. Okay. Boom. Goodbye. No, I don't want to do that. No, I don't. Okay, and Bill Zobus probably went to the bathroom. He's only like 90 years old. He's been president of his club, secretary of his club for a tremendous amount of years. All right, and Steve Gahalo is still on there. We're going to ask him to step aside. Steve? And Jennifer. We'll put her in the waiting room too, so that okay, that's just us now. Thank you, Bob. That was really great.
Yep.
I think we at the top end we had 38 people on. So
good.
basically what I predicted, you know.
Yeah.
I had hoped for a little bit more in terms of back from them, but I'm always ready with a few questions, you know, just to keep to keep the thing going. You know, it's but it was a good subject. I think it was a good subject matter to bring up, and it put some thoughts in their minds. That's the idea.
Yep. I didn't see anybody go to sleep.
Nobody went to sleep. You know, it was good. It was really good. So, again, I thank you for your time, your expertise, your treasured man in this district, and I treasure you as a friend, my friend.
So I feel the same way.
Thank you. I'm going to end the meeting and take your jacket off. If you don't have pants on, then you don't have to worry about it.
I'm wearing pants.
I will talk to you soon.
Okay, good to see you too.
Likewise. Thank you.
Bye bye.